Why is it that the very things we built to make life better are now the things we wish to run away from? Why do so many of us, who once dreamed of cities filled with light, now fantasize about quiet cabins and wild forests? Why do we feel suffocated by the very comfort we once craved? The truth is, human civilization was never meant to grow this fast. We were once creatures of rhythm, following the sun, the seasons, the soft cycles of hunger and rest, work and stillness. But the modern world, it moves at the speed of Wi-Fi. It rewards the fastest, the busiest, the most connected, and it leaves little room for silence. We live in cities with endless towers, roads that never sleep, and lights that drown out the stars. We build higher and faster, but forget to ask, why am I building this in the first place? Every generation thinks it's just a phase, a stressful job, a crowded apartment, an exhausting lifestyle. We tell ourselves it'll get better, just a little more effort, just a little more time. But somewhere deep down, a quiet voice whispers, "This isn't what I wanted." We crave the sound of birds more than car horns. We miss the smell of wet soil more than the latest perfume on a city billboard. And it's not nostalgia, it's a biological truth. Because our brains were shaped for open spaces, natural light, and slow moments of peace. We weren't built for concrete jungles, for 100 notifications a day, for always being reachable, but never being truly present. That's why, when we walk into a forest, our heart rate drops. When we stare at the sea, our thoughts slow down. Nature reminds us of something we forgot, that life isn't just about building, it's about belonging. We wanted convenience. We got hyper-efficiency. We wanted progress. We got burnout. And somewhere between digital calendars and coffee-fueled meetings, we began to wonder, have we designed a world that looks perfect, but feels empty? Do we want to escape this world, or do we want to escape the person it turned us into? Maybe we're not just tired. Maybe we're emotionally over-engineered. And so begins the quiet yearning for something simpler, something slower, something real. There's a strange paradox unfolding around us. We created cities to improve the quality of life, but the longer we stay in them, the more we feel like we're losing life itself. Urban life gives us so much: safety, modern healthcare, career opportunities, global connection. Yet at the same time, it quietly takes away the basics: time, space, stillness. Think back. When was the last time you sat alone, doing nothing? Not scrolling, not planning your next move, just sitting, simply being. If you live in a world filled with car horns, LED lights, constant deadlines, and endless social media updates, your brain is forced to operate like a machine, day after day. But you are not a machine, and machines don't need rest. Humans do. When your mind never gets to rest, your body can't recover, and your soul has nowhere to go. That's when we begin to long for nature. Not just to escape the city, but to escape who we've become in the city. The version of ourselves that's always rushing, always busy, too pressured to feel joy, too distracted to ask, why am I even living this way? Some people move to the countryside. Some leave corporate jobs to grow vegetables, raise animals, live off the land. Some choose cabins with no Wi-Fi, no screens, no social media.
Not because they hate technology, but because they miss something ancient, something real. More and more young people are saying, I don't want to spend my whole life in an office with no windows, doing tasks I don't understand, just to pay rent, buy coffee, and afford sleeping pills. They're not lazy. They're just not willing to live a life that feels meaningless. That's why movements like slow living, minimalism, and off-grid lifestyles have gained momentum. Not as rebellion, but as a quiet act of reclaiming the human within ourselves. But let's be honest, not everyone can afford to leave the city. Not everyone has the privilege to buy a mountain cabin. And truth is, you don't have to. You don't have to escape civilization. You just need to live more consciously within it. You can live in the city, work a 9-to-5 job, and still spend 5 quiet minutes meditating each morning. You can enjoy social media and still unplug when your soul feels overstimulated. You can love technology and still cherish the silent afternoons where you do nothing but breathe. Because maybe what we truly want to escape isn't the world out there, but the feeling of losing ourselves within it. And healing, returning, doesn't always come from a new place, but from a new way of being. It's in choosing to hear your own heartbeat again, to pause and ask, "Am I okay?" To rest, not because you're weak, but because you deserve to breathe in a world that never stops running. We may not change the entire city, but we can create our own quiet corners within it. A little table by the window, a plant on your desk, an instrumental playlist after work, a short walk without your phone, a moment to look up and see the sky. This isn't running away, it's returning to yourself.